Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are reacting to episode 20 of series 2 of Apothecary Diaries, and everything is getting really intense. We met Shen Mei, who is Lolan's mum, I believe. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but they kind of look alike, and she has uncovered Mao Mao in the Pfeiffer workshop, and Isla is with her too. So I don't know how that's going to go down because she seems like a very no, it doesn't seem like she is a very cruel person because she beats Lolan if Lolan doesn't take care of her fast enough. She treats her own daughter like she's nothing, which is insane to me. And it also makes me really curious how she treats Surei because Surei is most likely not her biological daughter. So if she abuses her own biological child, how the fuck does she treat Surei? Probably not very well at all. But we now also know where all these metals have been going, why there's money being skimmed off the top, because they're building a workshop of Pfeiffers. It's not just a workshop for them to test the medication. Not the medication, that's the wrong word for it. The resurrection potion, whatever you want to call it. That. It's not just a place to test it. Because they were testing it on the rats, but the real rats are the people that are organizing the coup against the emperor. Kind of just want to get into this episode and see what happens, especially because everything's kind of building to this inevitable coup. And hello. Yeah, hello. Hello. Yes, hello. It's the boy. It's the boy. My baby. Little chuckles. Yeah. He's a little man. A little man. I love him so much. He's your naked belly. Because at Christmas he had to go to the emergency vet and he's still got hair stuck to me now. He had to have his little belly shaven, didn't you? Yeah. You have some words to say to YouTube and Patreon? No. You little wheezes. I'm not gonna be able to film with you in here because you're a nightmare. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. No, he doesn't like that. Say bye-bye. I don't want you to go because I love you so much. He hates me. He doesn't. He loves me. Love you. I can't film with you in here though. I could hear him like vaguely meowing outside the door. Like I could hear him going like meow, meow. And I thought my door was closed enough that he couldn't come in. And then I just saw him like push his little head round and I was like, oh, oh no. Because, yeah, trying to film with him is a bit of a nightmare because he interrupts everything. He doesn't do very well with me filming and not getting any attention. It's because he could hear me and he couldn't get in, so he was getting like antsy outside. Because filming with him's a nightmare because he like sits on the keyboard, he jumps on the desk, so it shakes the camera. He skips ahead on videos, so it's like I can't have him there because I'll get spoiled by my own cat. But he's very handsome and he's very cute. Yeah, you're being very nice, very cuddly for once. That's a lie. He's always cuddly. Oh, there we go. Don't show your butthole to the camera. I'll get banned. Ah, don't look into the light. Like, I've got like a light on the floor and he's like staring directly into it. He's gonna make himself blind. I've got like cat hair all over me. I've kicked him out and I forgot where I was. A lot of what I was recording for this intro was to be included in episode 19 for YouTube. So yeah, I am I'm a bit lost. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit confused on where I left off that discussion because of the cat. Sorry. Yeah, no, my mind's blanked. He's just completely like thrown off my mind. I'm just gonna get into the episode. I'm gonna be real honest. I can't remember what we were talking about. My mind's gone. Either way, let's get into episode. Oh.
睡霊
Yeah, so she does abuse her in the same way.
シロ様のご子息です。
Shiro's son? Who's Shiro?
早く行きましょう。
Lolan.
ローラン、
Mao Mao finally learns the truth.
そうだったのか。
くくりつける柱を準備なさい。
シャメ様。
She's absolutely terrified of her.
の女は危ない。
Yeah, she is.
フェイファを見てしまった。折檻と称して始末されるのがオチだ。以前おっしゃっていたでしょ。新しいクスシが欲しい。
She's saving Mao Mao, even if it risks getting her in trouble with her mother.
クスシには見えないけど。
ええ、でもこう見えて弱い30を過ぎたんだ。日々己が薬を試すうちに年を取らぬ体になった。
Her mother fears no longer being beautiful, no longer being pretty. She's playing on her mother's vanity.
失敗したら前の男のように死ぬだけです。
Oh, I love that. Okay. She's playing on her mother, knowing what her mother wants and aspires for is to live forever and to retain her youth and to never age any more than she already has, because I imagine she was once this very young, beautiful concubine with great ambitions and a bright future ahead of her, and then she was likely snubbed by the emperor and he went for her servant, and then she was given to Shishu and likely is full of bitterness and resentfulness and wants to try and retain her youth for as long as she can. And I wonder then if some of her abuse of Lolan is jealousy, that her daughter is young, is beautiful, that she is the embodiment of everything that she no longer is. She is young and vibrant and beautiful, and maybe reminds her of herself because they do look alike, that she takes out this jealousy on her daughter. That's why she's abusive. That's why she mistreats her, because her daughter is this living reminder of her aging process, that she has given birth, bared a child, she's getting older. Every year that passes and her daughter grows more and more beautiful is another year that she gets older and older and is no longer seen as beautiful. Likely, she has to listen to people complimenting her daughter and that her daughter is stunning and vivacious and what a beauty. And she's resentful of it because it's a reminder to her that she no longer is that. But I love that Lolan is protecting Mao Mao. Again, she really does care for her. She never has wanted to be in on this. She's been coerced. This isn't what she wants for her life. And if she could be Shisui, she would. But she's had no other choice, no other opportunity. She is foisted into this life because of who her parents are. And she's doing whatever she can within her power, even playing on her mother's vanity, to ensure that Mao Mao is protected and not punished. I love that though, because it just is a reminder to us that Lolan is not the villain here. She is the victim as much as Surei is. They seemed like villains initially in series 1, but obviously the more context you know, the more they're humanized, the more you empathize. But I've never seen Shisui as a villain, even towards the end of series 1, because there were indications there that Shishu was manipulating things, that Shishu was trying to achieve power and was using his daughter as a way to get to it. And I'd begun to suspect that she maybe was put in a position where she had no choice and she has to do this to please her father. And Surei was a bit of a complicated one. We didn't know much about Surei, but obviously the more we learn, the more we begin to empathize with her, that this isn't necessarily something that she wants or has a choice in, especially because she could have harmed Mao Mao. She didn't. She gave Mao Mao the books, which she didn't have to do. They're both treating her with a level of dignity and respect. And she's going, I'm going to be executed. And it's going to look like an accident. They can't afford to do that because Lacan, she's his only living child. Lacan would never forgive them or forget what they did if his daughter died in their care. He's never going to forgive or forget that they merely kidnapped her, but alive, she's an insurance policy to keep him in check because they can leverage Mao Mao's life as a way to stop him going all out on them. They can use her as a way of keeping him in line. At least that's what I think they they can do. But Lacan is very smart. So I don't think he would ever unnecessarily risk Mao Mao's life, but he definitely would have a plan in play to ensure that he can move against them and protect Mao Mao because he's not stupid. But I think they underestimate him. I think they think they're smarter than he is. I think because obviously they refer to the Tanuki, which is a tricky, mysterious animal, but also is known for like shapeshifting and taking on different identities. And I think Shishu's identity that we've seen of him being quite mild mannered and respectful, and he's almost meek, that you would find it hard to suspect that he actually would be performing a coup. In that meeting with Lacan and Aldua, obviously they think it was Jinshi. I don't think Lacan thinks it's Jinshi, but I think Shishu thought it was Jinshi.
不老の妙薬前の男
そうなら仕方ないわね。
Oh, the man before. Was that maybe? So we know, so we know that the banished princess left with a doctor. The doctor was claimed to be the banished princess's father. So he took the banished princess away, right? Could who they're referring to be that doctor that left the palace with the baby princess? That was the one that raised her, and then she maybe married Shishu, and they had Surei, and he was just part of the family. But then when Shenmei came along, he was forced into trying to find this immortality because it would connect with Surei and her discussions around this potion of immortality. If it was like her grandfather, not her actual biological grandfather, but the man that essentially stepped up and raised her mother, and likewise she would have known him as her grandfather. Much in the same way that Lumen isn't actually Mao Mao's dad, but we still refer to Lumen as Mao Mao's dad. He's her great uncle, but we never call him her great uncle. So she'll just die like the man before. And Mao Mao's like, who's the man before? I think it has to be that doctor that was accused of being the banished princess's father. She's very knowledgeable about medicine. She's very knowledgeable about plants and how they work and the connection to medicine, that she must have been close with him and learned from him and formed a bond over their love of medicine. And that's the man that she would see as her family, as her grandfather. But I'm wondering if that's him then, that was tasked with finding this potion of immortality.
ここではまともな仕事もできないでしょう。その薬師も一緒に連れて行きましょう。私たちの砦に。
Oh no. So they're gonna leave here.
死水の正体はローラン妃だった。
Which we've
とんだ
known.
役者。いや、まるでタヌキのようだ。四夫人に特別授業をしたとき、派手な装いで無表情なまま授業を聞いていた。皇太后様から隠れたり、大浴場でリーシュ妃に近づかな
Because
かった
they'd
の。
recognize who she actually is. You know how like she gave the book and she like discarded it? Could it be because the woman she gave it to, one of her ladies in waiting, she expected her to actually be the one sleeping with the emperor instead of herself? I think it would be impossible for Lolan to not have also slept with the emperor at this point. She couldn't hide from him forever. But there were definitely times where she wasn't the person that the emperor met, because it was mentioned that he felt like he didn't really know who she was. Like she was a different person every time, and he never really felt like he got to know the real her, because sometimes it wasn't actually her. So I think she went in with this understanding that her ladies in waiting would be the one to please the emperor, and she could like foist this sex advice onto them because she wouldn't have to worry about it. But I think likely got a rude awakening that she couldn't avoid it, that she has also had to sleep with him because she couldn't refuse him, but also it's part of her duty as a consort, and she can't run from that duty no matter how much she might want to. And this isn't the emperor forcing himself on her, by the way. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying that if the emperor makes a move, she can't say no because she can't make it evident that she doesn't want to be a concubine and she can't disgrace her family. So there are pressures outside that are pushing down on her to be intimate with the emperor, whether she wants to or not. This doesn't mean that the emperor is in the wrong or the bad guy here. This is just more saying that I think Lola maybe was naive when she came in and thought that she wouldn't have to sleep with him, that she could get someone else to do it, but realized that that isn't possible. But it's just coincidental that she threw the book to her lady in waiting that I think is that's initially what she thought would happen, that she wouldn't have to sleep with him, but ended up having no other choice.
私から隠れなかったのは、マオマオを捕まえた時にローラン妃と気づかなかったから。うすうす感じてはいたが、虫好きでちょっと変わっていて、噂話に花を
It's
咲
hard
かせ
to
る
believe
普通の
that
子。
she would be this
見事、
cold,
死水に
isolated
化かされていたというわけか。
concubine. I don't think she played you. I think that's who she really is. It's a fucking fortress in the middle of the north. God damn.
ここまでお前を連れてくるつもりはなかった。
死水とは異母姉妹。
私を姉として扱うのはあいつだけだよ。
Oh, we're gonna learn more.
腹違いの娘がもう一人いたとなれば、あれほど恐ろしい奥方のシェンメイからは存在すら許されないだろう。
シェンメイ様は私が憎くて仕方ないんだ。才覚を見込まれて本家シェンメイ様の家に養子に入った。
Oh.
そして師匠という名をもらい、二人は婚約した。シェンメイ様は高級に召し上げられた。
And he met someone
時を
else.
経て歌手という形で戻ってきた時には、父のそばに私の母と私がいた。シェンメイ様は
Oh,
母と私を屋敷から追い出し、
what the fuck?
そして私の名前に一族を表す文字が入っていることすら嫌がった。
What a bitch. It's the fact that he just let her do it. He just went, yeah, cast them out, even though he was very clearly treating them well at the time. What a weak, bind fucking man. But I guess it's because he kind of owes everything to her family and that he was adopted by her family clan and given a name because they recognize his talents and abilities, that he feels like he can't really say no, but also grow a fucking spine, my dude. Your poor daughter, while she was in the rear palace, he had a baby with another woman, and that was unforgivable to Shenmei because she's a jealous, spiteful, vindictive individual. Because she went to the rear palace and she could have had children, but the emperor didn't look her way. So, I mean, I guess it might even be more spiteful and jealous if she learns that this is the daughter of her servant, who the emperor overlooked her for. So not only did the previous emperor snub her, the man that she was engaged to before she went to the rear palace slept with the daughter of that servant and they had a baby. She's a very vicious, vindictive woman, 100%, because her jealousy and vanity is what drives her. She was snubbed by the previous emperor. Tai Hao had her daughter taken from her. I'm presuming this is the daughter that Shishu then had Surei with. So she's, in her mind, been fucked over twice by the same family because Tai Hao had a daughter with the previous emperor and she couldn't get his attention. That daughter was cast out, raised, and ended up having a child with the man she was engaged with before she went to the rear palace. And then when she comes back, because she's given as a gift to him, that daughter is here with a daughter of her own from Shishu. What a fucking weak-willed man, and what a spiteful cow Shenmei is. The fact that she can mistreat so innocent of a child, and this child must have been loved and adored because she has the character in her name, meaning Shishu is claiming her because he was adopted, so he's given her a name that is closely linked to his own, has the character of Shen Mei's family, and that's why she's angry about it because it's not her child and she doesn't want a reminder that Shishu was with another woman, even though she could have been sleeping with the emperor for all we know. Probably didn't because he slept with her servant, so he probably never slept with her, but nonetheless, it's okay for her to go to the Rear Palace to potentially sleep with the emperor, but it's not okay for Shishu to move on with his life.
もしかして止水というのは
元は私の名前だ。
Oh,
ローランはその名前を気に入っているようですね。
but she took her sister's name. Oh,
そういう子なんだ。
同じ男の娘として生まれたのに母
they're
が違うだけ
very
で一方は長
close to
よ
one
花よと
another.
育てられ帝の花として献上される。そして
And the
もう
other
一
is
方
a
は
servant to be
官女として
abused.
高級に送り込まれ暗
But they're
躍され
both abused. That's the thing. They're both being used.
そして先日のフェイファを使った襲撃事件も
Yep.
師匠が黒幕だったのだろう。高級管理者の人士様は高級のあり方を変えようとしていた。師匠のやり方に反するように。
Is Mamo gaslighting herself again? Jinshi, the manager of the Rear Palace, was trying to make changes that Shishu didn't agree with. No, Mamo. Mamo, no. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. Stop it! Stop it! Just admit the truth. That's not why they're trying to get rid of him. Fuck's sake. She's like, is that all though? No, because that's not the reason. Because it's not about Jinshi the eunuch. Because both assassination attempts, Jinshi was not there as the eunuch. He was there as the crown prince. Mao, I need you to get it together. I need you to finally admit it to yourself. I know she's doing it on purpose, but it's like, come on, stop gaslighting yourself and admit the truth. The thing is that Mao is basically saying here is that one daughter is treated as a treasure princess to be given to the emperor. The other is sent in as a court lady to scheme in the shadows of the rear palace, just because their mothers were different. But I think what she's not acknowledging here is that Lolan isn't treated as a treasure princess. She's treated the same way as Sure. But because of her mother's vanity and her mother's need to grasp for power, she needs her daughter to be a concubine. But her daughter is a concubine in so much as it benefits them, as they get information that they can achieve something from it. She's still being used much in the same way as Sure is, but in a different way. And the reason that it's her is because she is the legitimate child because her parents are married. Whereas once Sure was cast out to be a servant with her mother, they were discarded. They weren't claimed anymore. So, of course, it looks like Shishu only has one daughter. So, only one daughter is going to be put forward. But both daughters are heavily mistreated, regardless of who their mothers are, because Shen Mei is just a vindictive bitch. Put it that way. So, it may seem like Lolan has the better end of the stick, but in hindsight, she really doesn't. Both girls are in a really shitty situation. And I think Lolan was able to recognize that even from a young age, that they were more alike than they were different, that they both were in a situation that neither of them wanted to be in, that they were both used and abused, and that she could find a kindred spirit with her sister in a way that she couldn't with anyone else. That perhaps with her sister, she could be her true self because her sister wouldn't judge her for being quirky and loving insects and being different. That there were no expectations to put on an act and be someone else because her sister accepted the true her. And likewise, she had a sister in Lolan that embraced her, accepted her, gave her the love that she felt she never got from her father because he cast her out when she was so young. She's getting the love from someone that truly sees her, that truly validates her, that truly wants to be around her. Both girls are in a horrible situation, and the fact that they're able to find comfort and strength from one another is truly a testament to their bond as sisters. And again, a testament to them being good people at heart. They're not horrible people. They're just born in a situation where they have no other choice but to follow orders and obey. And likewise, I've said across multiple episodes in episode 3 when Mao was talking about the fungus and what kind of fungus would grow from a human corpse. This is the result of what type of person grows up in a bad environment. Those words hint to the larger picture of two girls growing up in toxic environments, and this is who they become. But it's not who they really are. They're being forced to be that way because of their toxic environment. And I'm hoping that both of them somehow get out of it and they get to be who they want to be, that they get some aspect of happiness together. But I don't know. But Lolan definitely didn't have it easy. I know that Mao's seeing it as like, oh, Surei was treated as if she was nothing and hid in the shadows, but Lolan was only put in this position insofar as she could be useful being a concubine too. She was also being used.
止水。いや、ローランが価値があると言ったかんざし。ただの勘ではない。いや、宦官ですらなかった。
どうした？
Put it together, Mao Mao. Admit it to yourself.
帝に近しい男子は王帝しかいない。
Is she finally
その可能
gonna
性も考
admit
え
it
た
to herself?
年齢が違う。けれど、時折見せる幼い振る舞いが本来
Yes,
の
Mao Mao.
紳士様の姿だとして。
Yes, Mao Mao.
そういえば、
What if he
会の
is?
時に何か大事な話をしようとしていた
Yes, Mao Mao.
こうは人を狂わせる。なんと恐ろしい。
She knows deep down.
よし、この件はひとまず置いておこう。
Again.
現状を把握するのが先だ。
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I said it in the wrong way, but it's fine. I love her. She's like, let's put this aside for now.
あの工房で作られていた裁縫の最新の武器、フェイファ。あなたたちは戦を起こす気ですか？
Yes, a coup.
ローラン様がああ言った手前、跳躍の真似事はしておいてくれ。
言われなくてもします。
She's like, I'm happy. I'll work away.
戦か。大きく出たな。
Yep.
さて、どうするか。ここは3階。外は
Can't
雪で
jump.
逃げ出しても里に着く前に倒れそうだ。薬を試していて死んだようだけど。お、
She's gonna get distracted now. I need to find a way out. Ooh, books. Oh, Mao Mao. Never change. But I think she's obviously gonna glean some information from these books. Maybe. Hopefully.
その範囲で山がある場所は。
She's very smart. She's trying to figure out her location in proximity to where she needs to go. There's other children, isn't there?
一緒に行くと言った京羽に水霊は渋い顔をした。もし死の一族が謀反を起こしたとなれば、一族老頭、
She cares about them enough that she wants him to be okay.
女、子供でも赤子でも子供たちは知っているのだろうか。大人たちは教えたのだ
No,
ろうか。
probably not.
人事だと割り切ってしまえばいいのに。
You can't though, because it's you, Mao Mao.
母が笑っている。ここは笑うところ。母が父に憤っている。ここは一緒に怒るところ。
Mimicking her mother. Her mother wants a puppet, not an actual
私が人
daughter.
形でいれば、お母様は怒らない。がんじがらめで窮屈だけど、それでもいいと思
Oh,
ってい
poor
た。
Lolan.
けれど、
汚らわしい。
But she couldn't stand her abusing her
生
sister.
まれるべきではなかったのよ。
人形のままでいても、お母様を止めることはできない。そう気づいた時には、もう何もかも遅かった。
Oh, Lolan. Her life was never her own. It was always defined by her mother and her mother's abuse. God, the smoke.
邪行の香り。
The debauchery.
食べ物をしているな。
それで
Aphrodisiacs?
ここだとまるで主従だな。いつもは仲のいい姉妹なのに。
Because they don't have a choice, because her mother would be furious if she knew they were close, because she doesn't believe that Surei has the right to be born. In her mind, Suray's no better than a servant. She's not family.
前にいたというクス氏、どんだけ腕が良かったんだ。おい、薬屋なんでしょうか、京様。
He's
気持ち悪い
he's adorable.
シェンメイ様の部屋、他に女の人いなかった？
いましたね。
本当か？俺の母様がいるはずなんだけど、元気そうだった？
どの方かわからないので、なんとも。
That's the politest way to say. What are they making his mother do?
ていたのは母親に合わせないためか、もしくは母親自身が。
Because there was a woman on the bed with Guy, almost as if she was being made to entertain. Just wants his mum.
なんでもない。
Oh, bless. Mamo's gonna get attached. She doesn't want anything to happen to this clan either because the children are innocent and she recognizes that. That no one's exempt because of the game that Shishu and Shenmei are playing.
師匠が治める北方の砦が拡張
Oh!
されている。ええ、元は
They
放棄され
figured
た
it
砦
out.
でした。
But it's not
拡張
anymore.
工事についての届けは出されていません。つまり
It's all being done
Mujou.
secretly.
だな。
許されることではありません。
It
どの
is
程度
indeed.
進んでいる？
It's treason.
早々に対処を。
Oh!
何をやっているのだね。ラハン。
Oh, Lacan, I love you.
尊き方のもとへ通うものではない。変な誤解が生まれるよ。
It's like, I'm sorry.
ただでさえ。男とも女とも。
He knew. Of course he knew.
何よ。
バセ、
しかし父上。
私の不甲斐なさが問題なのでしょう。
その通りだ。
軍師殿の娘かわいそう。
But he also knows who you really are and that your mother was covering for you while you were trying to find Mao Mao. He's frustrated because he wants action. He wants his daughter.
皇宮の外にも内にも入れるどなたかがいたにもかかわらず我が娘がさらわれた。そしてそのお方は悠長に書類に囲まれていると来ている。
Oh,
一人どうなろうと関係
I'll
ない
have
という
no
ことでし
fury
ょう
like
か
a
ね。
father.
嫌味な
Damn.
ら聞きましょう。しかし敵は私ではなく師匠です。
何をしているのかと言っているんで
He's
す。
like, get your act together. Move. Become the crown prince. Stop
本来
hiding
の
as
自分の立場
Jinshi.
に自信を持つことができず、
Yep,
そこ
he's
から逃
pushing
げ出し
you.
てこの地位にあぐらをかいていると。
It's his love for Mao Mao that's going to push him into taking his place as the rightful crown prince. I think Jinshi needs to hear the harsh reality. Gyaoshan kind of
半端な
softens the
考え
blow,
のまま
but I think he
で
needs to hear it.
何ができるというんです。
I agree with Lacan. I love Jinshi, but I think he needs to hear it. He needs the wake up call.
悪かったね。
Lumen! He was like, oh shit.
お前がそんな風に思っているとは思わなかったよ。私だって好きで宦官になったわけじゃないんだけどね。
Oh.
違うんだ。おじきのことを言ったわけじゃないんだ。私は半端な宦官。
Oh.
しかもまともに歩けないし、
He's like, no, I didn't mean you.
今回の件はマオマオをちゃんと見ていなかった私にも
He's gonna make him
責任が
realize how
あるから
harsh his
ね。
words actually were because they could relate to
そんな
Lumen
お
too.
じきのことは責めてないよ。
間に合った。
相手の事情を考えて行動することも大切だよ。
Oh, Lumen.
昨日は海言葉に買い言葉であんなこと言うつもりはこれっぽっちもなかったんだ。
I'm in like two minds. I understand where Lumen's coming from. Like, you don't understand everyone's position, and therefore you need to be more considerate of other people. But at the same time, I think Jinshi does need to hear it from someone else that he needs to step into his rightful role, that being the eunuch Jinshi isn't going to aid their situation. It's not going to get Mao Mao back. It's not going to help him in the long run. He needs to finally step into his real position. He needs to step into who he actually is. And that's what Gyaoshan's been trying to gently prod him into realizing without pushing him. But Lacan is kind of like, I'm just going to push you, and whether you fly or not is up to you. You're going to hear what I have to say. I do agree with Khan. I think Jinshi needed to hear it, but at the same time, I can understand where Lumen's coming from. It's a difficult situation, but I think for Jinshi to fully accept who he is and not just toy with the idea of stepping into the role, he needs to have this harsh wake up call that sitting here doesn't help Mao Mao. It doesn't change the situation. It doesn't give him power or authority to rescue her or help her. Only becoming the crown prince does. Only stepping into the role that he's been running away from, that he's been avoiding, will be the way forward to getting Mao Mao back, to rescuing her, to ensuring that she's safe, because he has authority and he has control then. But I'm laughing though because Lahan said he made it and he's really out of breath, but Lumen still got here ahead of him. So I'm presuming he's out of breath because he ran there, told Lumen, and then ran back. But it's the fact that it's implied that Lumen got here faster than Lahan did, even on like a busted knee and with his cane. Lumen just outzoomed him somehow, which is funny. But I love that he knows that Lumen's the only one that can really bring Lacan back to reality, because yes, he's right in what he's saying, but there's also a time and a place, and he also has to remember that he is Jinshi's subordinate. He can't speak to him that way, and the only person that can really temper him is Lumen, who plays on this. I know, like, I am also to blame for what happened to Mao Mao, and I'm also a eunuch. I'm so sorry that you see me that way. And it kind of makes Lacan realize the harshness of his words, because they can be applied to Lumen. They could be applied to everyone, really, because it's not just Jinshi's fault. It's everyone's fault. Nobody saw this coming. You can't blame one singular person for the events leading up to Mao Mao. And that's my issue with some of what Lacan's saying, is that he's placing all this onus on Jinshi, all this blame, but it's not just Jinshi's fault. So many people overlooked it. So many people didn't catch on, including Lacan. And I think some of this is probably coming from his own resentment and anger at himself for not having caught this sooner, for putting Mao Mao in harm's way. Especially because he was gone for like a week. He disappeared with Mao Mao's mom to celebrate their reunion. So if he had been here, maybe he could have actually uncovered things sooner. If he hadn't been distracted by playing games with his wife and pampering and attending to her every need, he could have maybe found out what was happening. If he had made Mao Mao more of a priority, he maybe could have uncovered it. So I think some of his lashing out is also lashing out at himself, that he also failed Mao Mao. Everyone here has failed Mao Mao. It's all unintentional. None of them meant to, but everyone has contributed somehow to not uncovering this larger plot. So everyone could potentially be to blame. And that's what Lumen's trying to say, is that nobody's exempt here. Everyone could be blamed if we're going to play the blame game, but the blame game doesn't help anyone. It doesn't solve the current situation that we're in.
喧嘩になる前にちゃんと礼をもって伝えるべきことがある
That
ん
they
じゃない
need
か
his
な
help. He needs Jinshi's help and support. I love that Lumen tempers him. It's great. He's such a calming presence. The respect. Because he knows who he is, and he's treating him as the crown prince, not as Jinshi the eunuch.
約束師匠を討つべく軍を動かしていただきたいと
Oh, we're going to war?
死の一族は数年前より
おー
新型のフェイファを製造しているようです。
謀反の証拠は揃っています。海は早めに出し切るべきです。
これは宦官人士に対する礼ではない。
It's to the crown prince.
国に対する反逆の罪で師匠を討つならば、
It needs the authority of the royal family.
すなわち帝直轄の軍を動かすことになる。
いつまでかりそめの姿で欺き続けるつもりで
I've
すか
got chills.
人士様いえ月の君
いつか来ると思っていた。それが今来たに過ぎない。
Step into your power, my boy. Rally that army.
覚悟を決める時が来たようだ。
Yes! All this for Mao Mao. God, he loves that girl. Oh! Yes! I love that he did show him the respect that is deserving of his status, but it takes Lumen to remind him that the way he's currently acting isn't respectful of the Crown Prince because Jinchi outranks him. He does, and if he wants to rally this army and if he wants that support, he needs to go about it a different way. But as I said, I think what Lumen's hinting at essentially is that a lot of Lacan's condemnation towards Jinchi is also towards himself because he's angry at himself too. He feels like he failed his daughter in the same way that Jinchi feels like he failed Mao Mao. Everyone in some way feels like they failed Mao Mao. And that's what Lumen's trying to say to him is, you don't know everyone's situation, but I also failed Mao Mao. Meaning, if you want to play the blame game, you could literally blame anyone in this room because we would all have a role in it. Bar Lahan, it's not his fault. He's innocent in all this, but that's what Lumen's trying to make him realize is that like his feelings are not unjustified, but he needs to go about it a different way, which he does do. But I think he was still right in what he was saying, even if he didn't go about it the right way, if that made sense at all. Jinshi needed to be told the harsh reality, the harsh truth, that the only way to put a stop to all of this is to step into his role. And poor Mao Mao is going to feel really conflicted because she's seeing this struggle and what Lolan and Surei have gone through, but also the fact that there's children here, there's innocents that are going to be punished for Shishu and Shenbei's rebellion. And no one's going to be exempt from that. But Mao Mao knows that they're not involved, that these children shouldn't die and pay the price for someone else's lust or greed. And she's like, oh, I shouldn't get involved. But she's not going to be able to help herself. She's going to want to try and protect these kids as much as she can because it's not their fault. They didn't ask for this. They didn't want to be forced into this situation. They shouldn't be executed because of the merely having the name of she. So I wonder if his mother is one of those women in the bed that are entertaining the men. And I wonder what or why Shenmei would force them to do so. Is it to keep the men compliant? Is it to give them something in exchange for their loyalty and bolstering, commanding this army? But when Mama says something's mixed in, that she's given them something, could it be opium? Because the smoke is kind of that opium haze, and there's more than one person on that bed. I think the scent of musk is like usually the scent after sex. I think there's two women and then there's like three men, but she's clearly demanding these women to have sex with these men or is orchestrating situations in which they have sex with these men for whatever reason. And it's implied that potentially Kyo's mother is maybe one of them. And I think that's why Mao Mao was kind of keeping her mouth closed because there was the woman with the brunette hair that she can't really see if that's his mother. She doesn't know what his mother looks like, but I think she kind of makes the deduction that it could be. But she doesn't want to say to him that his mother's in there, that perhaps she's in a drug-addled state. And the fact that they're keeping him away from his mother, maybe because they want to use his mother as a way of enticing men to their cause through pimping her out. I don't know. I'm making that presumption from the brief glimpse, but it wouldn't be unusual because of Shenmei's position for her to drug women within the Shi clan and have them perform sexual services in order to reward men for their loyalty. It's the fact that she's in the same room and her daughter is in the same room, and so Surei. It's fucking weird. Very strange. He just wants his mom. I hope he does get to be reunited with his mom, but Poor Mao Mao. Like, she's really in a difficult situation. She obviously doesn't want to be here and she wants to escape and get away, but it's kind of impossible because she's in the stronghold. But they know where the stronghold is because obviously it's expanding. They're like, kind of need to keep an eye on that. And then now they're like, okay, this is too suspicious with everything else that has been ongoing, especially because it was abandoned, but now it's expanded. Like, yeah, that's the biggest red flag there. But Mao Mao doesn't want these kids or the innocents to suffer because they weren't involved in it. She really has a heart. And poor Lolan, like, she really had no other choice but to be this puppet that her mother wanted her to be, a little mimic. And that's what she's learned to do. She even says, I noticed that far too late. It's useless. It's useless to fight back. It's useless to expect her mother to change and to be any different. And that speaking up and speaking out against her makes her mother angry at her. And she just has accepted her fate, that she really has no other choice but to do as her mother wants her to do. That when her mother laughs, she laughs. When her mother's angry, she's angry. She doesn't have a choice. I really feel for Lolan because her and Surei really don't deserve the fate they've been thrust into. They really had no choice but to go along with what Shenmei and Shishu wanted them to go along with. And that's really emphasized in this episode with Surei being cast out, despite the fact that her and her mother were claimed by Shishu. She even had the name Shisui, which is very similar to Shishu, and has the name of she in it, meaning he claimed her. That was his daughter. He likely treated them well. And then Shenmei ruined everything, and then she was forced to be no more than a servant to Lolan. But it is a marvel that both girls have been able to forge a relationship as sisters despite everything, despite the situation they've been thrust into. But we're about to go to war. We're about to see them move in against Shishu. It's whether they will expect it. I think, as far as they're aware, that nobody knows really what they're intending. So the fact that they could catch them off guard is intense because they're going to rally this army and he's going to step into his true power. Oh, I'm so excited. I still think if there's going to be a war, it's going to like branch out into series 3 because I don't think it'll be wrapped up in the next like 4 episodes. I do think we're seeing the beginning stages because I don't think it would end with just Shishu. There seems to be backing from the West as well. My biggest question is, where the hell is Island? Because Isla's there, but we haven't seen Island. So I'm going to presume that Island doesn't actually know what's going on, that her cousin is essentially about to plunge this country into war. Because we haven't seen her since. Interesting. Hopefully we'll learn where she's at and what's going on. Maybe they'll have to speak with her because obviously the fighters come from the West. So I think the only person they can really logically speak to is Island to be like, what the fuck's going on? Or to get more information. I'm surprised they haven't thought to talk to her by now, but unless they've left already and Isla just decided to go to the hidden village. But I think there's other people moving as well that we haven't been introduced to that are backing Shishu, that even if they capture Shishu and they put a stop to this rebellion, there's not something else already in the works. There's not another plan in place, that there's not someone else vying for power. I think this war's going to be an overarching theme into series 3, but we'll see. I think that's all I want to say for now. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye.